Which may be the brightest thing on the show tonight.
Take your picture then, so that you can try to find yourself on the screen, at least all over the country. Prove that you were really. You won't forget to help us with the Scott and Trout show. I believe we are now ready to go.
The regular opening? I mean mine.
Yeah, the exit.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is arm. A-R-M. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I begin with $2,000 for one of our couples. If any of them say the secret word, the duck will fly down and pay him $100. The word tonight is arm. Well, Merry Christmas, kid. Okay, scram. George, who's first?
Well, Groucho, our studio audience selected a school teacher, Angie Frajosa, just before we went on the air. And her partner is a college student, Mr. James Hong. So, folks, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Let's see now. Angie, chicken fricassee, Just as good, you mean. How do you do, Angie? How do you do, huh? How do you do?
How do you do?
Isn't the English language a strange and wonderful thing? You say, how do you do, which is a question, and the other person, instead of answering how they do, they say, how do you do, right back again. And then you ask for the phone number. Where are you from, Ange?
The Glove Center of the United States, Gloversville, New York.
Oh, is that so? That's where Sam Goldwyn comes
Yes,
from. Did you
same
know that?
town, yes.
Huh? Were you hand in glove with Sammy?
No, he moved out before we moved.
You're a school teacher, Angie?
Yes.
I had school teachers like that when I was a lad. I had a whole series of old crows. Well, maybe I'll learn something tonight, huh? I could be interested tonight. I happen to be a very apt pupil. Apt to do anything. Happy New Year, too. Huh? Do you teach big boys like me?
No, Groucho, just the little boys and girls.
Well, at heart, I'm just a little boy. Just a gigolo, everything. Mentally, I meant that. What do you teach these tots?
Oh, to finger paint and string beads, and ride bicycles, and tie their shoelaces.
Teach them to tie their shoelaces?
Yes.
That wouldn't do me any good. I'm still wearing button shoes. You haven't got a button hook, have you?
No, I'm sorry.
How old are these youngsters?
They average 3 years old.
Where do you do this teaching?
Right here in Hollywood at the Assistance League Day Nursery School.
Well, if you're teaching 3-year-olds, you need assistance. What is the Assistance League exactly?
Well, it's a national charitable group comprised of women who are interested in bettering the society.
Well, I've had lunch at the Assistance League at the lunch.
Oh, have you?
Always get tomato surprise, no matter what you order. Why they call it tomato surprise, I don't know. You know what it's going to be. Let's see, I kind of forgot about you.
Jim Hong's my name, Groucho.
I don't care what your name is, but I was looking at her. You must say that you're competing under unfortunate circumstances here.
Yes, I realize that.
I think we're all aware of it. Where are you from, Jim?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota. Of course, I thought you might be, because Hong is a fine old Scandinavian name. Jim Hong, eh? Are you any relation to my uncle?
I don't think so.
Well, I just wondered. I had an uncle once who was hung, and I never could understand why. All he did was steal horses. You know, he was so crooked, when he left a room, he always stole out of the room. Well, I guess that's all there is to it, huh? Does Hong have any particular meaning in Chinese?
Yes, it does. Means place of meeting, association.
And Hong Kong is where King Kong meets his friends, huh? Is that a fairly popular name in China, Hong?
Well, actually, Hong isn't my last name because, you see, my father's Chinese last name was Ng, which was spelled N-G.
Oh, well, my name is NG, too, huh?
Well, NG without a vowel was pretty hard to pronounce, so he took his Chinese first name, which was Hong, and made it his English last name. So actually, my English last name is my Chinese first name.
Well, that's confusing enough for anybody. You mean to say that NG is a name in China?
Yes.
I want you to meet Mr. NG.
Well, no. Mm.
Oh, you just said I want you to meet Mr.
Not very good Chinese pronunciation, but it'll do, I guess.
Well, I've never been Chinese. It's not easy for me. I was in Minnesota once. Would that help any?
I don't think there's any Swedes named Ng.
I don't think there's anybody named Suppose you were going to introduce yourself to Angie over here. What would you say?
Angie, my name's Jim Hong.
No, I mean using the Oriental name.
Angie, my name is Jim Ng.
Do I have to answer?
What's your telephone number?
What sort of work
Chinese.
do you do? Can you speak Chinese?
Yes, I speak quite a bit of
Speak
Chinese.
it well, huh?
Yes, we speak it at home quite often, so
Uh-huh.
I have to know it.
Well, could you say, Mother, give me a salami sandwich?
Well,
Let me hear you say that in Chinese.
we don't eat salami. That's an Italian dish.
Well, could you say, Mother, how is the chow mein tonight?
Ma, a chow mein home, yeah.
She says NG, and that's the finish of that deal. And you go out and get a salami sandwich. What sort of work do you do, Jim?
I'm attending SC College right now, and I'm in engineering.
Is that near Michigan State?
No, I don't believe so.
What are you doing there?
I'm taking up civil engineering.
Oh, well, that's an honorable profession. What sort of ambitions do you have for the future?
I like to be an engineer, but I also like to be a comedian.
Well, who wouldn't? You're going to, and that's why you're studying engineering? If you wanted laughs at SC, you should have gone out for the football team. Huh? They were hysterical this year.
I think you just lost some friends at SC.
I didn't lose as many friends as they lost games.
Is that all the friends you have?
Pretty near, yeah. About 11, yeah. They did beat Vassar, though, didn't they? What kind of comedy are you interested in, Jim?
I do impersonations.
Not on this show. Frankly, I am not crazy about impersonations. Whom do you impersonate?
Well, I can impersonate you, probably, yeah.
Is it pretty funny?
No, it isn't very.
Well, if it isn't funny, it's certainly accurate. Huh? Let's see you impersonate somebody else. Angie and I will see if we can guess who it is. Huh?
All right.
Okay? Are you good at guessing
yes,
impersonations?
I'm wonderful, Judge.
Are you?
Who's doing the impersonating?
At the moment, I'm trying to impersonate Clark Gable, but I'm not getting it. Well, go on, tear loose.
I
Angie, who do you think that was?
Well, if I close my eyes, I'd guess Vaughn Monroe.
You close your eyes, you'll be in trouble. Well, you had me fooled. I thought it was Tallulah Bankhead. Don't you think Vaughn Monroe sings a little like a horse, Angie?
No, I think he has a beautiful voice.
No, I wasn't criticizing his voice, but the timbre is a little like a stallion.
That's a matter of opinion.
Well, that's quite true, yes. Let's talk about your work some more, Angie. We seem to be getting more unfriendly as we proceed. Suppose one of these kids gets out of hand. How do you punish them? You force them to watch me on television?
No, our job isn't punishing.
Not that drastic, huh?
No. We try to guide the children.
Guide them where? Out of an open window?
No.
Well, what do you mean you guide them, huh?
Well, by telling them, trying to distinguish right from wrong and teaching them right from wrong.
I have a 7-year-old girl, Melinda. I don't know whether you've ever seen her. She was on my show a couple of times. I try to teach her the difference between right and wrong. She says she feels good doing the right things. She says she feels even better doing the wrong things. Suppose one of the boys gets fresh and kisses you. How do you handle that?
Well, at that age, they're not really fresh. So you just turn around and hug and kiss them.
I just wanted to be sure, that's all.
How old are you?
Oh, brother, did I trap her into that one? Jim, I'd like to get back to you, but I'm afraid to ask any more about your impersonations. She might do them. I tell you, I'll leave it up to the audience, huh? All those who would like to hear Jim do some more impersonations. Now, applause is easy. I want you to signify it by flying once around the room. Jim, everybody's flying around the room, so I guess I lose, huh? Who can you do besides me?
Well, Billy Eckstein, Frankie Lane, Raymond Massey, Jimmy Stewart, Mel Torme, Sidney Greenstreet.
You're kind of thin for that, aren't you?
Well,
Can you do Johnny Ray?
yes, I can.
Well, do enough for about half a handkerchief, huh?
He asked me if I could tell all the world just how high those little clouds rise. And that's how I think I'll always remember the little white cloud that sat right down and cried.
It's a strange world we're living in, isn't it? I bet nobody ever thought that one of Confucius's ancestors someday would be impersonating Johnny Ray. Well, I'm stuck anyhow, Jim. Let's see you do me. Go ahead. Huh?
All right.
And make it good, huh?
I don't have a cigar, so I'll use my pen. That's all right.
Right, I always have an extra... Here, here's a cigar.
Okay, and I'll put on my glasses.
Put on a mustache, too, huh?
I don't have any.
You have to kiss Angie, too.
That's what I'll do. And now, the Soto and Plymouth brings you Groucho Marx. Who were you expecting, Marilyn Monroe? Groucho Marx, that's me. And drop in on your DeSoto and Plymouth dealer. And when you do, come here, Groucho, send you up my dealer.
You did that so well, Jim. I plead with you not to smoke that cigar. Jim, I didn't get that last part of that. That was pretty good, though, and I wish you every success after you finish college.
Thank you, Groucho.
And if anybody's in the market for a good rickshaw, well, just go down to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers and tell them Groucho Chingling Poo sent you. Well, you're both nice kids, and I hope you win lots of money in the quiz tonight, because it's time to play You Bet Your Life. Now, let's see how much money you can make. You selected movie quiz. You understand how to play this game, huh? This is Mr. Fenneman.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Now you can start with anything you want and take any question you want. They increase in value as you go along.
Would you like to...
Oh, I'm agreeable. 70.
All right, $70.
$70. Who played the original Tugboat Andy? Talk it over. One answer now.
Marjorie Reynolds.
No. A little before your time, but it was Marie Dressler.
Oh.
All right, you've lost your money, but you still have many other chances to win money here. Now, what question do you want?
You.
Go for higher stakes than 80.
80? Is that all right? What is Edith Head's job in the movies? Edith Head. Edith Head's job in the movies. H-E-A-D apostrophe S. Head. Well, she's a very famous dress designer.
Oh.
Did you pick this of your own volition? Huh? Well, come on. You got two more chances.
I'll leave it up to you then.
Maybe we should go lower. 50, maybe.
50. Who created the role of Andy Hardy in the movies?
Mickey Rooney.
That's right, Mickey Rooney.
Now you're on your way with $50.
Now, what do you want?
Choose. Choose our line.
Try for 90.
90?
That's all right.
Roy Rogers has Trigger. Gene Autry has Champion. What famous cowboy star had Tony?
Tom Mix.
Tom Mix is right.
And you wind up with $140.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto
Thank
Plymouth
you,
dealers.
Groucho.
You were real good. All right, George, who's next?
Well, we have a couple of people with interesting stories to tell, Groucho. Miss Esther Kelly and Mr. Bob Rubin. Would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Esther Kelly and Bob Rubin. Miss Kelly, I'll start with you. You're a fine broth of a Colleen. May I call you Esther?
You may.
Where are you from, Esther?
Memphis, Tennessee, on the Mason-Dixie line.
You lived right on the Mason-Dixon line?
I did.
Wasn't that kind of confusing?
Not so much.
Well, I mean, in the war between the states, how did you know which side to fight on?
Well, I wasn't there to fight, so I wasn't mad.
You were a deserter, huh?
I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there, huh? How long ago did you leave Memphis, Esther?
16 years ago.
Oh, were you just a little girl when you left Memphis?
No, I was 25 years old.
25, huh? Plus 16?
No, Groucho.
Less 10% for wind velocity?
Did not count when I went barefooted.
Carry 3 multiply by 6 when the moon is in Aquarius. That makes you exactly 33, is that right?
That's right.
I'm no fool. I'm not going to start another civil war. Huh? Being from Memphis, can you sing the Memphis Blues?
No.
Can you sing, can you do the Tennessee Waltz?
Oh, I might do a little bit of it.
Would you care to shake a leg, as we Southern gentlemen say?
Oh, no, let's wait a while. I'll take you down to my restaurant and do that for you.
You only dance in a restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. Well, that's food for thought. Now, Bob Rubin, how old are you, Bob?
I'm 35, Groucho.
35, huh? Well, you're a fine-looking lad. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Omaha, Nebraska originally.
Oh. Are you married?
No, I'm not, Groucho.
Why not? Why aren't you married?
Oh, just never had time.
How much time do you need?
Girls run pretty fast.
Only towards you, huh? Would you like to get married someday?
Yes, I would, very much, Groucho.
Well, I'll see what I can do for you.
Thank you.
Don't get your hopes too high. May take as long as 15 minutes to find a girl. Esther, are you married?
No.
Would you like to get hooked up?
No.
I wasn't asking for my sake. I was asking for Bob and the future of our country. Well, let's find out something about you two. Bob, what sort of work do you do?
I own the Pen and Quill in Manhattan Beach.
The Pen and Quill. So what? I own a half interest in a ballpoint in San Pedro. I'm not bragging about it. What's the Pen and Quill?
Well, Groucho, the Pen and Quill is a very nice restaurant and lounge in Manhattan Beach, just a couple miles south of the International Airport. We have very good food, very cozy, semi-exclusive atmosphere, and we've got 11 beautiful waitresses, too.
You have 11 beautiful waitresses?
We sure do.
Well, what are you waiting for? There's your chance.
Well, I don't mix business with pleasure, Groucho.
You should try it sometime. You may go bankrupt, but who cares? Money isn't everything. I want to meet the fellow who said that, too. I want to have a talk with him. Bob, I want to ask you something. Why do they always turn the lights down low in these restaurants? Is that so you can't see the food or the customers?
Well, in some restaurants, but not in ours, Groucho.
Why do they turn the lights low?
I'd say in some restaurants so you can't see the food, but not in ours.
You turn the lights low in your restaurant?
Yes, we do.
Why?
Well, it makes it very friendly and cozy, and
can't you get friendly in a well-lit restaurant?
Oh,
I mean, if the customers are well-lit?
That was a little easier.
Esther, do you have a job?
Yes, I own Esther Kelly's patio.
You own Esther Kelly's patio? Well, you're lucky. I lost mine in the stock market crash in '29. Just what is Esther Kelly's patio?
Well, it's one of the nicest restaurants on Pico Boulevard.
Oh, you own a restaurant, too, huh?
Yes.
This is quite a convention. Barbecue Bob, Ketchup Kelly, and Meatball Marx. What kind of a place is Esther's patio, Kelly's patio?
Well, it's...
or Esther's Kelly patio. Is it a pretty fancy joint? For example, if I came there, would I have to wear a black tie?
No, when you get hungry, you come as you are.
Well, if you say so, okay. Only it happens I usually get hungry right in the middle of my mud pack. Is there anything different about your place, Esther? Does it have an atmosphere? That means no lights and lots of smoke.
I had the most romantic restaurant in California.
Really?
Yes.
You mean if you turn your back on the corn and peas, the first thing you know, you've got succotash?
No, we have married people.
Well, in what way is your restaurant romantic?
Well, because since I've been there, I have married all 40 couples.
You mean after eating in your joint, they decided they'd better get married and eat at home?
They fall in love.
You say they fall in love in your place?
Sure.
Well, why do you do this Cupid act? Do you collect a fee?
No, I do it because I like humanity.
Why aren't you married?
I'm so busy marrying other people off.
Well, how did all this matrimonial activity get started, Esther?
Well, one case particular I can recall, it was one gentleman used to come into my place quite often, and every time he'd come in, he said it was no more nice women left in the world.
There weren't any more?
No more nice women left in the world. Then I had a lady did the same thing. She said it was no more nice men left in the world, and she would like to meet someone who was nice. So I got an idea. I put those two together. So I introduced them. So I introduced them, and 3 weeks later, they were married.
Well, you got them together yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I must say you're a very efficient cook, Esther. Apparently you can make hash out of anything.
Well, get them in love. They won't know what they're eating.
That's true. Do you regard each other as competitors?
No.
I think Esther's got a good deal cooking there, Bob. Why don't you quit eating at your place and have one of her hamburgers?
I've been thinking about this.
If you don't get poisoned, you might get married. In either case, make sure the Blue Cross is paid up. Huh? By the way, Bob, Esther has a lot of excitement at her place. Has anything exciting ever happened at yours?
Yes, we had one very exciting thing happen recently, Groucho. On Halloween night, a good many of our customers were having Halloween parties.
Pumpkin?
And a little everything. And 3 masked bandits came in with shotguns, stuck the shotguns on the customers, and pushed a shotgun in the face of our bartenders. One of our bartenders, Bill, just pushed it aside and said, I know who you are, take off your mask. These are our customers to take care of. And one lady, he demanded her jewels, put the gun in her face, and she just kept laughing and pushing the gun aside. And these fellows got quite frustrated and got quite worried. Nobody was paying any attention to them. The piano players started playing Dragnet on the piano, getting in the mood of this thing. And every time they demand, the girls tried to seat them and serve them. And finally, they got so frustrated, they cuffed one of the customers with a gun, and people realized it was getting serious. As a matter of fact, one customer was eating lobster thermidor, and when they demanded his wallet, why, he gave it up and kept right on eating, and the bandit said, you seem to be enjoying this. And he said, why not? It's good thermidor. But eventually they were all captured. Waitress slipped out and called the police, and they were captured. One was shot leaving the restaurant.
It's a little embarrassing when you ask people to stick up their hands and they won't do it, isn't it, huh? You weren't very nice to these fellas, I must say. Were you the perfect host while all this was going on? Did you see they got a good meal?
Well, later, when I visited them in jail, one of them told me he was going to order a steak when he came in, but he realized he wouldn't be around to eat it, and he just didn't want us to waste the money cooking a good steak when he couldn't be there to eat it.
They were very considerate, these fellas, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
I'm sorry they didn't pull this deal off. What do you charge for a good steak?
Well, we charge up to $6.50 for a good cut, special cut, Groucho.
No. He was trying to rob you, and you were trying to rob him? Have you been in jail, Bob?
No, I don't. Just to visit these fellas.
What did you do before you went into this restaurant business, or was that your main ambition as a boy?
No, it wasn't, Groucho. I was a foreign correspondent for a good many years before.
Oh, really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In San Pedro?
Well, I was overseas most of the time.
Oh.
8-10 years.
You must have had some interesting experiences, huh? Could you tell us about some of them? What was your most exciting story?
Well, I think the most exciting story, I represented the combined Allied press in the airborne invasion of Europe. I parachuted into Normandy with the Allied forces the night before D-Day and filed my story by carrier pigeon from behind the German lines. I later
The stick-up must have seemed like child's play to you, huh?
Well, it made me kind of gun-shy.
Yeah. Did you have any other experiences that you...
Well, I went through the European War. I entered Berlin when it was still on fire with the Russian forces, covered that story. I covered the bombardment of London, the Blitz of London. I was in the latter stages of the Pacific War. I covered the Communist War in Manchuria, was with the Nationalist forces there, covered the White House.
You don't know James Hung, huh? He goes under the name of NG in Shanghai.
Been to Shanghai, but I don't know James.
You don't know NG,
No.
huh? You must have met a lot of interesting people in your job. Anybody we know?
Yeah. Well, I interviewed a lot of very famous people, Groucho. I covered the White House and President Roosevelt's press conferences, and I interviewed Prime Minister Churchill, Anthony Eden, General de Gaulle, General Eisenhower, Chiang Kai-shek.
His real name is NG, you know. Well, you met a lot of big people, huh? What would you say makes a person big? Is there any one thing in particular aside from eating in Esther Kelly's patio?
Well, Groucho, I think the really great people have a sense of compassion for other people. I recall very vividly when I flew to Switzerland as Eleanor Roosevelt's press attaché, and I became quite sick in Shannon, Ireland. We were forced down there, and I was put to bed. We had a place about a mile from the airport, and the next morning Mrs. Roosevelt got up and walked that mile through very bad storm to get me a bottle of hot milk and carried under her coat to keep it warm, brought it back.
Hot milk?
Hot milk, yes. That was her
I didn't know they had any milk in Ireland. I thought they milked the cows there and whiskey came out.
She, I think, a person that thinks of other people from their heart that way.
She's a wonderful woman. You know, I made a Bond tour in 41. We had a lot of big stars on the show, and we were invited to the White House. And this was during the period when Eleanor was always traveling. You know, she was always
I
going.
covered that Bond tour.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, we were at the White House, and I was talking to her, and they had this band playing down below in the kind of the patio, if you'll pardon me, Esther. Huh? And you know those military bands? They always play this band. They always play stuff like da 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 da, and all those those tired marches, you know. And I said, Eleanor, I says, now I know why you keep traveling all the time. Well, I was finally thrown out of the White House. Well, you've led an exciting life. Well, why did you quit all that glamorous existence that you to open a restaurant?
Well, I wanted to settle down, Groucho.
Well, if you want to settle down, why don't you drop in on Esther Kelly's patio, huh? You'll be married before you get to the main meat order, huh?
I'll settle down that much yet.
Do you have many customers who are looking for spouses?
Oh, I should say I do.
Spouse happens to rhyme with lousy, you'll notice.
I have at least 300 now on the
300 potential spouses?
Yes, sir, but out of that 300, I say it was quite a few that nobody would want to marry.
Well, what do you do when you get a scarecrow that nobody wants, huh?
Oh, I talk to him and put his name on the list, and, to keep him hurting his feelings.
But you, just out of idle curiosity, Esther, do you have any beautiful girls who might want to marry me?
Well, I don't know. I'll put your name on my list.
It's like that, huh? No, Esther, if it's all the same to you, I'll just have one of your hamburgers.
Well, that's,
I might as well. I'm doomed anyhow.
It's good eats where friends meet.
Is that the slogan of the...
Good eats where friends meet.
Well, I'm glad you told me the slogan because that'll keep me out of there. I'll go to his restaurant. Well, I must say it's been interesting talking to you two, but now it's time to stop talking and start earning some money. We have lots of it around here. We print it out in the back out here. Now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. Now, let's see how much money you can make. You selected sports. Now, what question do you want? Now, Esther, looking at that won't do you any good. You better look at Bob here. Huh?
Bob, what we
About
want?
$60.
Okay.
You want a $60 question?
60.
We have some nice $60 questions.
Uh-oh.
What great distance runner of the 20s was known as the Flying Finn? Talk it over. If you don't know, guess.
Gunnar Haig?
No, it was Namie.
Oh, no, Papa Merrick.
That's right, Pablo Namie. Now, what do you want?
Try 50 this time?
We'll try 50.
The British Open Golf Tournament is sometimes played at the historic Royal and Ancient Course in Scotland. What is the name of this course? Talk it over.
It's a famous course, too.
Yes, it is. It's, Uh-oh.
Well, it's St. Andrews.
St. Andrews. Let's try the 70 this time.
All right.
70. Briggs Stadium is the home of what baseball club?
Detroit.
Detroit Tigers is right.
Now you're on your way with $70.
Well, that's a relief. We didn't want you to leave it broke,
What
huh?
does that mean?
All right, now let's see you get another one.
Well, let's
Down
go
to
for
England.
80, Esther.
All right.
80?
Let's stay out of England, please.
In cricket, what do you call the three vertical and parallel sticks? In cricket. Three vertical and parallel sticks. If you don't know, guess.
Post.
No, it's the wicket.
Wicket.
Yes, the wicket always win the most. Well, I'm sorry you didn't win more.
You wound up with $70.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thank you, Groucho.
All right, George, who's next?
Well,
That's
Groucho...
French.
Yes, I can tell.
Did you get that,
yeah,
George?
I have that feeling.
Yeah.
We have a man from the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce.
I always call you George,
Yes.
but on account of Noel, I thought I'd call you George tonight. You like that?
That's nice of you. We
Didn't
have
cost me anything. I got it wholesale.
There's a man waiting out here from the
Yes,
Los
with a black mustache? Well, tell him I've got one. We had that joke on one of our shows. My brother came in and says, there's a man outside wants to see you with a black mustache. I says, well, tell him I've got one. Well, this was 1929. Things were different in those days. We're not laughing at the same things today this year.
There's a man outside. Let me start this from the other end.
Go ahead, George.
This man's partner is Miss Renee Gretsch, and the man waiting outside is from Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and he's Mr. Richard Paulus. So, Miss Gretsch and Mr. Paulus, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you win $100. It is a common word, something you always have with you. With you. Now, no Frenchman says with you. That's ridiculous, huh? Well, an attractive girl and a man from the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, huh?
Right, Groucho.
Richard Paulus, that's you? I'll talk to you first, then we can get on to more pleasant things. Well, I've talked long enough to you. Now, I guess I better get one fact from you. Where are you from?
I was born in Wabash, Indiana, on the banks of the Wabash, Groucho.
Well, he's a booster for Los Angeles. I'm surprised you admit it. Renee, is Los Angeles your home?
Yes, it is.
Any comments, Richard?
Well, I'm not surprised, Groucho. Some of the best products come from Los Angeles.
Listen to him crow. He sounds like a rooster. Renee, by the way, Renee...
Gretsch.
What is that last name?
Gretsch.
You're kidding, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
What kind of a name is Renee Gretsch?
It's Renee is French and Gretsch is German. I'm half and half.
Oh. Well, how much are you a bottle?
Pretty high, huh?
Well, if you drink the whole bottle, you'll be pretty high. Now, which half is German?
The outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Renee, since color television... I think I show remarkable self-restraint at times. Since color television is just around the corner, isn't that silly? Would you care to describe yourself for our listeners, few as they are?
Well, I'm between the ages of 20 and 30, 5'4.5", 114 pounds, blonde hair, brown eyes. That's about it.
You're much too modest. You could be describing a cocker spaniel. Dick, let's hear how a real blown-in-the-bottle Chamber of Commerce man would describe Renee. Now, go ahead.
Well, Groucho, she has a beautiful sunny tan there. It looks like a Santa Monica tan to me. And she has a beautiful San Fernando Valley smile. And she has a beautiful chartreuse suit on there.
What are you yodeling for? Don't tell me your voice is still changing. You must be the junior chamber. What class are you in?
Senior, Groucho.
Oh, senior.
That's right.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that probably the dress here was made by one of our local manufacturers. You know, we manufacture more sportswear than any other place in the world out here in California. Thank you, friends.
Well, Kansas and Nebraska never had corn like this. Dick, if you're that crazy about her, why don't you give her a big hug?
I'd better not.
Typical Chamber of Commerce man, huh? He won't squeeze anything he can't get orange juice out of. What's the matter with you? Are you a man or a mouse?
I'm married, Groucho.
In that case, would you care for a piece of Limburger? Dick, what's your job with the Chamber of Horrors? Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Groucho, I'm the district representative of the Membership Relations Department of the Los Angeles City and County Chamber of Commerce.
When the title is that long, the pay must be very short. Confucius. NG. What do you do in your job?
Well, I act as a liaison man between the member firms and the various services of the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce.
But what is the principal purpose of the Chamber of Commerce, aside from lying about the climate?
We don't lie about the climate, Groucho.
You don't, eh?
No.
I don't know which one to believe, you or that motel I saw floating down my street the other day. But what is the purpose of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, generally speaking, it's...
Generally speaking, women are generally speaking. I know that.
No, that isn't it.
Yodeling again.
Generally speaking, why, we...
You know, I once saw a movie where a man kept getting younger all the time. This might have been the fellow who was it. Generally, you may be wearing diapers by the time the show is over.
Generally speaking...
Go on.
Generally speaking, why, we try to bring other firms throughout the country and sell them on the benefits of settling here in Los Angeles.
You want business firms to come from other parts of the country and settle here?
That's correct.
Well, a lot of them do, don't they?
Oh, yes, a lot of firms settle here.
After it's all over, they're happy to settle for 10 cents on the dollar. Could you give us a specific example of the way you lure these firms out?
Well, we contact firms throughout the United States, and we bring them here and show them the economic benefits of locating here, such as there's a great market here, you know. It's a great market.
Well, aren't there any great markets in the East?
Oh, yes, that's true.
Isn't the population more congested in New England and Pennsylvania, New York State?
More congested?
I mean, there are more people there?
Well, it won't be for long. I mean, the rate they're coming out here.
Well, if you can get all these firms out here, you're certainly going to help. Well, enough about the Chamber of Commerce for the moment. Let's talk about something warm and sunny and pleasant. Like Florida. No, I mean Renee. Renee, I dread asking this question, but I must know. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Ah, there's good news tonight. Do you think you might be able to get interested in a handsome, athletic fellow who likes girls?
Well, I am now, and might marry him someday.
Well, don't rush me. I haven't even proposed yet. Would you like to know me better?
Well, I was speaking of someone else.
Sounds like an awful bore to me, eh? How did you meet this skunk who came between us?
Well, it was while I was working at the Lindemar Lodge. I was office manager there, but one day a week would be hostess in the restaurant. One evening, while walking through the bar, someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, aren't you related to the girl that works up in the office? I said, not only related, I am the girl.
Then you were related.
Yes. He didn't know me because I had cut my ponytail.
I don't blame him. He probably thought you were a horse of another color. Isn't it an old song? Ponytail, ponytail, won't you be? No, that was another show. Now, Renee, what sort of work do you do?
Well, right now I'm working at the Bay Pharmacy as cosmetician and all-around sales girl.
Why did you quit this other job?
Well, I'm helping out my friends there over a period of time at the Cohens at the Bay Pharmacy.
The what?
The Cohens at the Bay Pharmacy.
The cones at the...
Bay Pharmacy. They own the Bay Pharmacy. What do you mean, the cones? The ice cream cones? No, Mr. and Mrs. Cohen.
Oh, well, what flavor are they?
I really don't know.
Well, where is this place?
Civic Palisades.
Oh. Well, when you were a girl, what was your ambition? I'm curious.
To become a portrait painter.
Well, what happened? Why didn't you achieve your ambition?
Well, after studying for quite a number of years, artists just don't fall into that. You have to make a name for yourself. Although I have been fortunate in having a few art exhibits here, since I have been here a year and a half now.
You sold these?
Well, I have sold a few, yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you get for a painting?
Oh, anywhere from $100 up.
Would you want to do me in a leopard skin?
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
You'd need a lot of paint.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dick, the obvious thing for me to do with you is kid you about our weather, but actually the weather in Los Angeles is better than any place in the world, isn't it?
You bet your life.
What are you doing about the smog, Dick?
Well, actually, Groucho, the chamber is doing everything that it can about the smog. I'd like to tell you a few things, what they are doing, if you don't mind.
Yes, I'd be glad to hear it.
They're cooperating with business and government alike in trying to work out fair and adequate controls. They're interested in sponsoring private and public research into some of the problems as they come along. And they're interested, too, in public education of the things that have been done, that are being done now, the things that haven't been done.
In other words, you're doing nothing about the smog. Now, is the Chamber of Commerce really ready to admit that we have smog here?
Well, we're not. We don't try to hide a thing. Of course, we have.
You don't have to try to hide it. The smog is hiding Los Angeles. By the way, what causes smog?
Well, now.
They have smaze in the east.
Well, I'm only a layman on that, and I can only give you a layman's
That's all
viewpoint.
Better than nothing. Not much, but something.
As I understand it, it's certain pollutants and smoke in the air, and complicated by certain geographic and geological factors, which Los Angeles happens to have.
Well, is there any answer to this problem?
Oh, yes, clear the air and you clear the smog.
That's one of the most careful statements I've ever heard. That statement is about as radical as 30 days had September. Now, is it only industry that contributes to this pollution of the air?
Absolutely not, Groucho. There are many factors that go into that. One of them that comes to me right now is the unorthodox burning of trash by citizens.
This cigar is not trash. These cigars cost $3 a hundred. That's for 2 pair of pants. And I think I'm smoking one of the pair of pants right now. Well, I want to say in closing that I think the city is doing everything they can to eliminate this thing, but it's a project that's going to take years, and nobody must be too impatient about it. And it requires the cooperation of everybody.
Thank you, Groucho. You're
Automobiles and backyard incinerators and industrial firms and everything. But I think you've played it up pretty well. Now, if you could do as much with the smog, we'd be in great shape. Well, now the time has come to play You Bet Your Life. All you have to do is win more than our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the big question later. Now, let's see how much money you can make. You selected geography. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. Now, what question do you want to start with? A $10 one or a $100 one?
$70.
$70. In the Alaskan gold rush, the miners used the river as one of their principal means of transportation. It is Alaska's most important river. You name it.
Yukon?
That's right, the smell of the Yukon.
Well, you're off to a good start. You have $70.
You're off to a flying start. Now what do you want?
$80.
$80.
Oh, excuse me.
That's all right.
The Russian city of Stalingrad is located on what river?
Dnieper?
No, I'm sorry, it's the Volga.
You still have $70, however.
And there isn't a more vulgar river in the whole world. Now what?
50.
50. Mount Everest, tallest in the world, is in what range of mountains?
Himalayas.
That's right. Himalayas is right.
You now have $120.
I don't know whether it's Himalayas or Himalayas, but you got it right anyway, huh? Now, how much do they have?
$120.
$120, and this is your last chance to beat the other couple.
$100.
$100. What is the name of the tiny republic at the eastern end of the Mediterranean, between Palestine and Syria? What is the name of the tiny republic? It's at the eastern end of the Mediterranean, between Palestine and Syria. If you don't know, guess.
Armenia.
No, I'm sorry, it's Lebanon.
Oh, Lebanon.
That's a tough one.
And you wind up with $120.
Which? Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Thanks.
And that means that the school teacher and Mr. Hong, with $140 in just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question. Here comes our winning couple, Groucho, the school teacher and Mr. Hong, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question.
Well, this works out. Who knows what's going to happen, eh? Will you do another imitation for me if you win the big money here tonight?
Certainly. I'll impersonate a man spending the money.
All right, here we go for $2,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully and please no help from the audience. Here it is. The world's first atomic submarine, now under construction, is named after the submarine in Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. For $2,000, what is it? Talk it over. What is the answer you two have decided upon?
Just a guess, Davy Jones.
No, it's the Nautilus. Nautilus. Well, it's a couple, so that means the big question next week will be worth $2,500. Well, they lost the big money, but how much did they win in the quiz, George?
$140.
That's not too bad. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you, and to all of our contestants on the show tonight from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,500. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also brought to you by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto Automatic.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. If your policy on the road is courtesy, you are always the beneficiary. Your life depends on it. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world.
Just to defray the cost of mailing, I'll send you each a life-size photograph of the Bank of America. Good night, all. Wait here a minute.